Jump Force 2, a game we all wanted at one point or another. I know the idea of Jump Force 2 is kind of out there at this point. It's been a couple years since the first game, and it probably would have happened by now, but that's not really the case. A game we all come to hate or love. In majority case, hate. In my case, love. I, however, do not fall in that majority category, and I've talked about my opinions on Jump Force on many occasions during streams, even in other videos. I've mentioned my stance on Jump Force. Sure, it has issues, and we'll talk about that. So, about this video itself, the concept of Jump Force 2, of course, we're going to talk about characters, the story, things we're going to add from the first game, improvements, all. Of course, the characters, story, and general improvements from the first game to the next is the main talking point of the video. The biggest talking point you'll care about is probably the characters they're going to add. It's just something we all care about. Before we talk about Jump Force 2, what could potentially add, when the game is coming out, if it's even happening in the first place, when we can expect it, what might be in the game, what might not be in the game, why Jump Force 1 supposedly quote-unquote died. We'll talk about all that. I want to make this my Jump Force video, going over how I feel about the first game. Before we dive into this video itself, I really have to hammer this point of where my stance is, because if someone makes a video like this about Jump Force 2, especially in 2025, you got to understand where their perspective is on the Jump Force 1, because everyone's different, right? The majority of the community hates this game. They hate Jump Force. So if someone watches this video, they don't know my stance, they're going to go into this video expecting me to just be shitting on Jump Force or something. So before this video actually begins, I'm going to talk about Jump Force 1 and how I feel, so you know my stance on the game. Yes, it has issues, and I've said this on videos and streams, and I might even play a clip from an old video I had where I'm going to basically say the same thing word for word.
Say what you want about Jump Force. It's better than most people say it is. And let me explain this. When Jump Force came out, let me just talk about why people say it's bad in the first place. Because a handful of popular YouTubers came out who were bad at the game and said the game was trash. People are sheep and can't make their own opinions. So now everyone's saying the game is trash because their favorite YouTuber is bad at the game and said the game is trash. I will admit, Jump Force has problems and it has issues, but it was not as bad as people said it was. Jump Force was not as bad as people said it was. I will admit it had issues and problems I really hated, but the game was not as bad as people said it was. Not at all.
I admit Jump Force had problems and issues that I hated, but the game is not as bad as people say it is. Jump Force is not a bad game, and it's not as bad as people say it is. For those who were around back a couple years ago when the game came out, and people played the game, if you were around during that time period, you might know this, but if you're newer to the community, or if you weren't around for the Jump Force hype, you weren't around to play the game, because servers are down, no one plays it anymore, then you might not really know this. But for those people who were brainwashed, let's say, for example, here's why the people say the game is bad. The game is not bad. The majority of people say the game is bad because of this reason right here. Their favorite YouTuber was bad at the game. Their favorite YouTuber was bad at the game, and instead of getting better or learning the game mechanics, learning the systems, learning how it works, sure, the game systems can be at times, but so is the majority of anime games, you know? Look at Xenoverse, look at Storm, look at every other game. Look at Sparking Zero. Look at all these mechanics in that game. Like, holy shit. But yeah, people were bad at Jump Force. Your favorite YouTuber was bad at Jump Force, so they said the game was trash. Therefore, people are sheep and can't make their own opinions. Therefore, the game is now trashed by the community because their favorite popular YouTuber said the game is trash solely because they suck at the game. And that's why the game has the reputation it has right now, and it has had this reputation because their favorite YouTuber was bad at the game, and now the game is trash. And people want to bring up, oh, the game came out with uncompleted story mode, it didn't have versus, it didn't have spectator, it didn't have rematch option, it didn't have this game mode, it didn't have this online rank setting, it didn't have rematch, this or that. Took a couple months to add it, whatever. I want everyone to look at the screen. I'm going to put a picture on the screen, and it's going to be of a game. I may or may not say the game out loud, but just use a visual for this one, okay? I'm going to put a picture on the screen, maybe a clip of the game. This is a game that came out, I believe, last year, 2024, and it took them how many months to add spectator mode, custom battles, whatever game modes? 2024. And yeah, I was going to say the game right here. Naruto Storm Connections hasn't added all their game modes until months after the game released. 2024. And people are complaining about that, about Jump Force in the earlier years. You can't really use that as an excuse to why Jump Force is bad. Look at 2024. Naruto Storm Connections. Look at that game. And those are the same people who love that game are the same people who shit on Jump Force. The games both took a couple months to add a setting for like rematch or something for rank. I don't remember the particular, but they added rematch or custom, I don't know, for rank in those games. But it took them both months. But here's the thing, Naruto Storm Connections, Naruto Storm 4 had it. All they had to do was transfer it from Storm 4 to Connections. This has been a mini rant, and this went longer than I wanted it to, so let's get to the main video. So that's my stance. I want to start the video by putting my stance out there that I like Jump Force, but I admit there was times so when I played the game, I was so frustrated with some of the mechanics. I didn't like some of the choices they made with the combat system. There's many things I don't like about character balancing, characters not working properly, ultimates working, from anywhere. There was a lot of cool concepts in Jump Force, though. You can have anyone power up, charge, Z vanish, Goku versus Ichigo. There's a lot of good stuff about Jump Force. Jump Force had a lot of good about it. You can have Ichigo versus Zoro. You can have Rukia versus, I don't know, whoever you want, Vegeta. You can have Luffy versus Naruto. You can have Killua Zoldyck versus Piccolo. Now, let's go to the next part of the video. I don't want the whole video to be just talking about Jump Force 1 and specifically just ranting about Storm Connections. That was never the point. I just wanted to do it for maybe a couple, maybe a minute at most. Should it turned out to be like 6 minutes on this raw recording here. So Jump Force 1 was an anniversary game. It came out for Shonen Jump magazine, an anniversary a couple years ago. So we might not get the next Jump game might not even be Jump Force 2. It could be like a Jump Stars 2, 3 or something. It could be a whole new Jump game that has nothing to do with Jump Stars or whatever the game is called in Jump Force. It could have nothing to do with that. Or it could just be Jump Force 2, which is what I want. Because now it's 2025, and this is around the time, 2026 maybe, is when we might see the next Jump game. And it's gonna mainly have, the Shonen Jump characters. My favorite anime is Fairy Tail, and I've always said that. I'm not expecting Natsu in the game, but like as a guest character, it'll be pretty cool as like DLC. They had guest characters like Saitama and other characters like that, like Natsu. That would be cool. But I'm not gonna make this a ridiculous list of characters I think are gonna be in the game. I want to be as realistic as possible. And we'll start. First, let me say this as well. This is also pretty important. I have not seen every anime in Jump Force. I've seen a lot of them, but not all of them. So I'm not going to list characters from animes I don't know because I don't know those characters, obviously. But I'll talk about the animes I do know and animes I think will be added. I think Demon Slayer is like, I'm going to be honest, people say Demon Slayer is confirmed for Jump Force 2, whatever happens. I'm like 50-50 on it, but I do think Demon Slayer does have a chance to be in Jump Force 2, but I still think there's like a 50-50 chance it does or doesn't because of copyright issues and whatnot. Which is why Jump Force 1, quote unquote, died. Jump Force 1 didn't die. Let me go back to this just real quick. Jump Force 1 did not die because your favorite YouTuber was bad at the game, said the game was trash, and everyone is sheep and can't make their own opinions and play the game themselves to see if they like it or not, or even attempt to get better at the game. The game did not die because of that. The game actually lived for a pretty long time. Ranked was thriving. There was cheese everywhere. I mean, look at Xenoverse, look at Sparking Zero. Cheese everywhere, not just Jump Force. And that's what people don't remember, is that every game, it's not just Jump Force. What most likely happened, which I think they confirm it too, they lost an IP for one of the anime, so Jump Force 2 or a new Jump game might never happen again because they lost an IP. We don't know which anime it was, or maybe we do and I forgot. But they lost an IP for an anime, and who knows if they're ever going to get it back, or they might do Jump Force 2, removing that anime. I don't know which anime it was they lost the IP from. It's probably out there, but I just don't really know if it's out there. I don't know. But that's basically they lost an IP for an anime, most likely. We don't know which one. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. As long as it's not Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, or One Piece, or My Hero, I think a Jump Force 2 will do great. If they can have maybe two less animes, but give us more characters from the existing ones. Because some of the animes only had one character, like Asta from Black Clover. I've never seen Black Clover, but I know Asta's from Black Clover, and he's the only character from a series in Jump Force 1. So I'm going to make this video multiple sections. This first section was just the introduction. It took a while. The next section is going to be improvements from the first game, how customization works and custom characters, because oh my god, that needs to be adjusted for Jump Force 2 immediately. That needs to be fixed, overhauled, fixed everything. They need to fix that immediately. And I'm also going to hammer the lobbies, emotes, all that. I'm going to hammer all of that, right? General game improvements. And then we'll go, after we're talking about the game itself, customizations, custom characters, going through the lobby, going through the menus, the lag, the classic loading screens, haha. And then the next section of the video will be story mode, because how does the story move on from where it was? I think it's kind of funny. I'm going to mention this real quick. As much as I love Jump Force, I never actually finished the story mode. The story mode is boring as hell. I can say that. I love Jump Force, but I never finished the story mode because, oh my god, I'm not dealing with the same mission for like 20 hours of my life. No. And I'm allowed to say that. Okay, let me say this. This is turned into a rant I didn't want it to be. You can love something, but admit there's stuff bad about it. You don't have to go ride or die for everything about it, you know? I love Jump Force. I don't like the story mode. Also, who really plays Jump Force for story mode? Because you have every character when you start the game, so you just go online right away. Do parallel quests, go online right away. You don't need story mode. And let me use this as an example. Who really played Dragon Ball Fighter story mode for the story? You all played Dragon Ball Fighter story mode to unlock Android 21, let's be honest. And I didn't even do that because I got the pre-order Ultimate Edition of Fighters, so I just unlocked Blue Goku, Vegeta, and 21 from the first day. So I didn't need to do story mode for 21. I had her right off the bat. I don't really want to tackle too much on how Jump Force 2 leaves off where Jump Force 1 ended. I don't really care. I'm going to be honest. I don't really care about the story mode in that game, so we'll keep this short. The story can pick off where it left off, and Goku and all of them decide, hey, you know what? We can go back to our main timelines whenever. We'll just hang out here for a little bit, and then go back to our main timelines whenever we want to in between battles, you know? It could be something as simple as that. Who really cares? They can do anything with it. Have Thanos appear again. It's whatever. Because the main point I want to talk about in this video is gameplay changes, customization, and most importantly, the characters. And we'll touch on maybe when the game is going to come out, this and that. But the main point of the video is characters and customization and gameplays that people care about. It's how is it going to improve upon the first game? And this better not be a Storm 4 to Storm Connection situation. I think the first thing that needs to happen in terms of, we'll start with the gameplay itself. I think the first thing that needs to happen is the Vanish system, the health bars. We need to fix that first for Jump Force 2. Your health bar, let's keep it 3 characters. We'll keep it 3 characters. You can still use your assist. You can still switch out characters. You can still combo. And I kind of like the key in the game, how the key works. But let's fix up the transformations and ultimates as well. Let's put that somewhere separate. First, health bars. Let's do one at a time. I think the health in Jump Force is too small, and I know Jump Force matches can last a pretty long time, and sometimes they end right away. Just how most games work. I prefer a longer, intense match, and I think the point system should be go from 2 KOs to 3. Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 1 you gotta get to first of 3 wins. Hinokami Chronicles 2, I think they went to first of 2 wins. And I think for competitive people like that, for what I prefer the three stock matches, I want Jump Force 2 to have that. I think health should be increased for sure and give players more agency and more freedom for combos because my god, Jump Force, everyone, me, everyone, my friends, when we play Jump Force, we made insane, cool ass combos, switching characters, using moves, combining grams with moves. But then the combo drops, and it does that little thing where you get invisibility frames because the combo's too long, but you hit them like maybe 5 times because it thinks you did a long combo. My god, increase the health bars and let us have goddamn freedom with combos because there is a lot of freedom with up and down punches, kicks, sweeps, high attacks. Like Sparking Zero has the high and low blocking, high and low attacking. Give that to Jump Force. Jump Force already kind of has it. Just give us more freedom to not worry about, oh, if I continue this combo, this cool combo, it's going to drop. It's going to go invincibility frames. Or I can't do this cool thing. And like, I'm not saying have infinite loops, which there are. In Jump Force, you can exploit it. You can definitely exploit Jump Force to have infinite combos and defeat vanishes. I think the vanishing system, people say the thing that should get fixed is you get, when it's beginning of the match, you get one. And then once your bar fills up a little bit, you get another one, but you never really know when it's there. My biggest problem is that it doesn't actually do anything of value. You vanish, your opponent knows what they're doing, they're dashing, doing the super dash, continuing their combo for free, getting extra damage, and you wasted your evasive. And sometimes, and people can counter it. You just don't spam your punch button. Do like twice, block, wait for the vanish, continue comboing. It's flawed if your opponent knows what they're doing. Even if they don't know what they're doing. Punch, Kamehameha, oh, they vanish, so they get fully blast. This is kind of a side thing, but having different elements on Gallet Gun, Kamehameha, and other moves is actually pretty cool for custom characters and stuff. Having a green Gallet Gun and having different versions of moves, having like as a guest move Uraraka's attack in the game, and having, all these new moves in the game. And the thing I don't really like is, we'll get this when we talk about characters. Well, I want to use Sasuke Susanoo Ultimate on my CAC, which I can't do. But I can use Once for All on my CAC, because that makes sense. Your CAC and Jump Force can use Bakugo's quirk. You're like all for one. You steal his quirk, but you can't steal Sasuke Susanoo. I don't know. It's a video game. It's not like it's lore canon. Oh, you don't have his Mangekyo or some shit like that. It's a video game. Let us have fun. Let me play Sasuke Susanoo Ultimate or Kakashi's. You know, maybe something like Gon or Meruem. Stuff like Gon and Meruem makes sense to why you can't have it for CAC because your CAC would have a data or a hand coming out of their mouth, out of their hand. And for a Gon, how would that work for CAC on the Ultimate? I mean, they can do something. Just make it a massive Jonken punch. It doesn't have to do the whole thing. They can do anything for CAC. Just adjust the move for CAC. But back to what I was saying. So the health and stocks. Now let's talk about vanishes. It should completely reset neutral. And what I mean by this is, instead of vanishing to the back, I think the vanish system should work like this. In Universe 2, when you vanish, you go behind your opponent, and sure, you can get back hitted and all this crazy stuff in Universe. But this is not Universe. It's Jump Force. Unless there's back hits in Jump Force 2, have you vanish behind your opponent so you don't get dashed or blocked into a Kamehameha or into an extended combo because you vanish and nothing happened. Because there's times when you can vanish and you're still getting punched mid vanish. It just doesn't work most of the time. And sure, as a good player, you can vanish and punish your opponent if they're using an auto combo or something, and they go into a straight line, you vanish, block, go to the side, and hits up from the back. That's a Sparking Zero thing as well. You can do that in Sparking Zero. I think going behind your opponent instead of moving 1 foot back and still getting punched in the face, you should go behind your opponent And then some people might say, oh, well, this is Jump Force. It's not just Dragon Ball characters or Naruto. How does, like, Ichigo, I guess that's a bad example. Like, I don't watch Black Clover, but does also teleport? Does he Z vanish in his anime? I have no idea. Like, for example, just use an example. Oh, how does Asta do that? Well, every character in Jump Force can power up with some sort of power up. Like Sasuke powers up with purple aura, Aizen has purple aura. Like everyone has a power up. Bakugo powers up with explosions or something. If you're playable in Jump Force, that means you have some power and speed in your anime that makes you qualify to be in Jump Force, right? If you're in Jump Force, that probably means you're strong enough in your anime to vanish behind your opponent at close range. It's not the out of world to think about that. Like Naruto, you can think of it as a shadow clone or something. They can even do that. Where when Goku uses his evasive, just have it be like a Z vanish. When Naruto does it, have a shadow clone pop out or something. Jump Force 2 can be so creative, and Jump Force 1 wasn't very creative in some of these aspects, and they can be creative in the next game or, whatever game they do next. I'm sure like Rukia and Renji can use like Keto and all that stuff can make something to like I like Kisuke Urahara, if he's ever added to the game, can make his little clone thing. And even if majority of characters have a generic vanish, that's okay. Give them generic vanishes. And like it could be the same animation as the vanish we have now with Jump Force, but just make it go behind the opponent, not in front. I think the next complaint people have is super armor on every attack and ultimates being so crazy. There's times when you're in the air, you are like Bakugo or something, or any character, you're in the air, completely high in the air. Maybe you're playing Yodoichi and you're doing the flying tech or something, and someone does the grounded rush ultimate or something, and you still get hit on the ground somehow. Number one, let's talk about rush ultimates. That should not happen. If your opponent's 100 million feet in the air and you're on the ground rushing with a sword, their ultimate attack should not connect. There should be only tracking on the move if you're doing it in a combo. If you throw the ultimate out raw, it should go like sparking zero in a straight line. If you miss, you miss. You hit a wall, you hit a wall. But if you're in a combo and the combo sends your opponent maybe crooked 1 degree, then sure, the ultimate could connect. It's a part of a combo. But if you're throwing the move out wrong, then don't give it great tracking because it doesn't jump force. And let's also talk about super armor on those kind of ultimates. I think it's kind of silly, even though this is also in other games. If you're doing, let's say, Osta's ultimate and Jump Force, and someone does not an ultimate version, but a the regular Kamehameha, maybe a fully powered one even, it shouldn't go through. It shouldn't go through. Maybe there's some lore behind the attack that it fades through key. I don't know. I don't watch Black Clover. But maybe stuff like that will be cool. Like maybe if you're using like Naruto's Rasengan, it will clash with the combo. Like they can do stuff. And my god, we're gonna talk about this soon, but give characters presets. I want a Naruto, like Naruto and Sasuke and Goku have so many different clothes, costumes and attacks and ultimates. They don't limit it to them one preset. Also, for those who don't know, Gohan isn't in the game because Goku and Piccolo's clothes are already used for Piccolo and Goku. They could have used the green Great Saiyaman costume for Gohan, but that's not iconic enough for Gohan, and that's the only reason he's not in the game, because every character needs a different moveset and needs different clothes. Because Piccolo is special from canon and Goku is Kamehameha. You want to know how they could have fixed that? Give Goku his Resurrection of F uniform, the Wii symbol gi. If they gave Goku the Wii symbol gi, or his dragon, like any other costume, we could have had Ultimate Gohan in the game. And Piccolo, there's not really much you can do. There's no other Piccolo costumes really in the game or in the show. Besides, if you want to count the manga colors on his skin, which wouldn't matter for the costume because it's his arms, it's not his costume. So you can't have Team Gohan really, unless you have Team Gohan in armor. But again, that's not iconic enough. And also, that's Vegeta's armor, so they can't do that anyway. We just got completely sidetracked talking about characters when we're talking about the gameplay and stuff. So let's go back because we got off topic. I got off topic. My bad. This is not very scripted, by the way. This is just me talking. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Bear with me. We've talked about this, so let's talk about super armor. Let me just go back to a point I made, okay? The ultimates that are rush attack should not have any tracking, and they should not have super armor unless it's like a move that specifically goes through blast in their own anime. Like maybe their ultimate rush attack in the anime. Like let's just say use Ichigo as an example. Let's just say his ultimate, which is a rush attack, can cut through a Kamehameha and get to his opponent. That makes sense. It does make sense. But if it's an ultimate attack, we're just running in a straight line and land a punch like Deku, and then maybe it shouldn't go through a Kamehameha unless he punches the Kamehameha. But that makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say? Like All Might's the same thing. He is running up and punches you in the face for his ultimate. But like if you get hit by Kamehameha, it goes through that. Which ultimate attacks should overpower supers, but not. I feel like if we throw a beam, that's different. Because there's no real counters in Jump Force 1. And when I say counters, I don't mean super attacks. Obviously, there's Ichigo and Goku, and I think some other characters as well have go into counter stance, like in Xenoverse 2, for example. If you're familiar with that game, I'm going to use an Xenoverse example. Godbreaker, Goku's Super God Flash. Like, there's kind of counters in those games, like in Jump Force. But when I say counter, I mean, like, if someone throws an ultimate at you, there's nothing you can really do to counter it. And also, other thing, in Storm, I don't play Storm Connections, so I don't know if this is in Storm Connections, but in Storm 4, if you hit your teammate's assist, like if your assist is on the field and it gets attacked, not only does it get switched to the character by force, but it takes all the damage plus some in Jump Force. In Storm 4, your assist takes no damage because it's a separate character. In Jump Force, and I'm guilty of this too. Many players, including me, are guilty of this. This is called tech. So when you have your ultimate on Jump Force, I'll just say it's a beam, or for example, Deku, like let's just say Deku's ultimate, right? Or like a super Kamehameha or something. You bait out your opponent to force them to use an assist or switch, and the second you see it happen, you pop your ultimate because it will guarantee land with double damage because it hit the assist, and you can exploit that. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. It's easy to do free ultimate damage. I don't think that should happen in Jump Force 2 because even I'm guilty of it, right? And it's so overpowered and broken to do that. I think I've touched up on attacks, ultimates, system changes to the combat, the advantage system. We talked about the health. We talked about the stocks, the 3 stock. Now, aside from the obvious stuff, let's have spectator mode, custom battles, and maybe a tournament mode. Let's move aside and get to the final 2 parts of this video. Custom characters and the characters that might come to the game. I'm going to be brief on the custom character thing because I kind of touched on it earlier. For one, let every custom character use every ultimate attack and super in the game, regardless of whose attack it is and if it makes canonical sense or not. It is a video game. We should have fun in a video game. Who cares about lore in a video game? I want to use Sasuke's ultimate on my CAC, but as I said earlier, for example, for Meruem or Gon's ultimate, and maybe a few others like that, you can't have the same one for your CAC because it's very specific for them. Right, you can have your character become an adult and then throw a big punch. You can just have them charge up the big punch without transforming. And for Meruem's, be creative with it. Maybe instead of a hand coming out of your CAC's, like a mouth coming out of the CAC's hand, like Meruem's ultimate, be creative with it. Just have it be the same beam. But instead of a mouth coming out of your hand like Deidara with Meruem's ultimate, just be creative with it. They can do this. And next thing we touch up is Code Vein has one of the greatest customizations I've ever seen in games. And here's what I want for Jump Force. Every character in the game needs a hairstyle for the CACs, and add hairstyles from characters not in the game. For example, let's just say Nami from One Piece is not in Jump Force 2, what she should be. If she's not in Jump Force 2, let her hair be selectable. You know what I mean? Every character playable should have a hairstyle for CAC, and even the characters who aren't playable. I'm not saying every character in the whole show. If you look at like One Piece, for example, again, that show has like a million characters. I am not saying every character needs a hairstyle, even if they're not playable. Just give us a handful of non-playable characters' hairstyles for each anime. Even one extra would be nice from each anime. In addition to giving us the hairstyles of everyone who is playable, because it's the models in the game, the hairs in the game. And just like Code Vein, let us customize each part of the hair. Not just pick the hair and you're done with it. Pick the color of the hair and pick the style and you're done. In Code Vein, for example, you can customize like every inch of every hairstyle. You can even add hairstyles on top of it to make more unique and cool designs. And I'm going to touch about this at the end of the video. But everything I've listed in this whole video so far and what I'm going to list going forward in this video, I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's all stuff we're probably not going to get. Let's be realistic here, right? I'm listing off stuff from the ideal game. An ideal game would have all of this and more. An ideal game would have all of it and more. But we're not ever going to get the ideal game. People want Xenoverse 3 to be like, people want Xenoverse 3 to be like what I just described like a minute ago, right? We're never going to get the ideal game we want. And I'm going to touch about this in the end of the video. Maybe not because I touched on it right now. But back onto it. The hairstyle, we can customize each part of it. That will be so cool. Jump Force is something cool. We can have two accessories at one time. But except sometimes it doesn't work properly. So hopefully just make it work properly this time. And aside from accessories and hairstyle, let's change them. Costumes. Look at Jump Force again. Let us change the color of each part of the clothing and let us add things to let's just for an example, Goku's outfit. Let us remove the belt. What if you want Goku's outfit without the belt? Like, give us customization. Let us add Goku's clothes with Naruto's jacket on top, or maybe give us give us Deku's gloves. I mean, like give us Deku's neck piece with with Sasuke's jacket or something. Like, let us customize, mix and match. Now for the fun part of the video. I've been waiting for this part of the video, the final part where we talk about characters. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to say it again because we're on this part. I am not going to list characters from series and animes I have never watched and I've never seen anything from because that's not fair, because I've never seen, for example, JoJo, so I'm not going to list JoJo characters. So I'm only going to list characters from animes I know, which is not all of them, but I've seen a lot of animes. So for the animes I have no clue about, just for the sake of the video, every character from Jump Force 1 from the animes I don't know, just give them an extra character and just have them all in the game. So before we start the list, starting with Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, let's do 4 honorable mentions. And this is not really honorable mentions, this is more of my wish list. These are 4 animes I love, but I'm gonna say zero chance of ever happening a Jump Force game. These animes have a 1% chance, if not 0% chance of being in the game. So the only reason I'm even mentioning it because it's my favorite animes and I want them in the game. But it's never going to happen, but this is my video. So these are my 4 wishlist series. Fairy Tail, Akame ga Kill, Chainsaw Man, and the Fate series, which can be Fate Stay Night, Grand Order, any of the Fate series. I prefer Stay Night, but my favorite character is Ushiwakamaru, which is from Grand Order, but I prefer Stay Night if we were going to get Fate. Now, starting with Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto. Including DLC, those characters had 7 each. 1 DLC and 6 on base roster. Let's make the big 3, Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, 10 characters at launch. And let's start with Dragon Ball. Goku, Frieza, Vegeta, Piccolo, Trunks, Cell, and Majin Buu as the DLC character. After that, we have, here's the list starts. Gohan, Broly, Jiren, Android 18, and you can add either Gogeta or Vegito. You can switch any of that to make 10. But you just need the first 7 that were in the game needs to be in the game, and then the next 3 can be Gohan, Broly, Gogeta, and what's it called? Vegito can be switched around. I prefer Vegito, but Gogeta is probably more popular, so it will probably be Gogeta, even though I'm a Vegeta fanboy. So including the first 7, Gohan, Broly, Gogeta for Dragon Ball. Now for Naruto, it was Naruto, Sasuke, Kaguya, Boruto, Gaara, and Kakashi. And the seventh as DLC is Maru Uchiha, who should have been in the base game, but for trolls, he was DLC. Now, for the next three, 100% gotta be Itachi for one of them, Kawaki for the second. It has to be Boruto ever stuff. So switch out Boruto for the Blue Vortex for the next game, because they are taking manga. The first game had Hunter x Hunter and Bleach from manga, and they're also taking stuff from different, like for example, Blue Goku and Dragon Ball Z Trunks, two separate Dragon Ball animes. They pulled them from separate ones, right? So they can easily have Blue Vortex era Boruto and Kawaki and even Sasuke and Naruto if they wanted to. And then for the 10th character, so we had the first seven plus Itachi, Kawaki, and then the 10th one, I'm kind of thinking. Well, I'm not really. I know who is in my head: Sakura, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. The easy choice is Sakura, and I think it 100% should and will be Sakura. If Sakura, I mean, Jump Force 2 is happening, Sakura 100%. I think Sakura is necessary, but here's my logic, right? I want Sakura. Most people probably don't. I want Sakura in the game. Sakura is most likely. Sakura should be in the game, right? But you understand, Jiraiya, Tsunade are Sanin, and Orochimaru has been the villain. Like Orochimaru is basically like the guy who's always there. He has to be in the game because he's always there. Naruto, he's he's iconic in Naruto. Orochimaru is the most iconic villain next to Madara, I think. And Jiraiya, maybe not. Tsunade, maybe not. So it's definitely between Sakura and Orochimaru. So maybe if we take a Kawaki for Orochimaru, then it can make it happen. Now the next is One Piece, and I'm going to say this first. I have not finished One Piece. I am not caught up. I am at the halfway point. In the anime, I'm in like episode 516 or something. I stopped last year. I got to that episode like last year, and I never had time to really catch up from there. So my knowledge of One Piece is literally when they get back together in time skip. So the seven characters from the first game: Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Blackbeard, Sabo, I think he was, and then Boa Hancock and Law is DLC. And now for the next three characters, I'm going to say this. I know Ace is popular. I personally don't care about Ace, but I know he's popular, so I don't want him in the game. I don't care about him, but people want him, so let's add him to the list. Ace, and then Nami, and we definitely need more Straw Hats. I was thinking Frankie or someone, but my personal favorite is Nico Robin. Someone add that. And Usopp and Nico Robin are my two favorites. So have them, even one of them, I'm happy. Next, let's do Bleach. We had Ichigo, Rukia, Renji, Aizen, Toshiro as DLC, and Yoruichi as DLC. And this is something I completely forgot about. Byakuya and Kenpachi, I think we're supposed to be in the game, but weren't. So let's add them to the list. Byakuya and Kenpachi have to be in the game. And then the 10th one, I was thinking about this for a while, and I was either debating Yuhaba or like Uryu. I think Uryu, Ushida, or Yuhabaha. So add one of them as a 10th. Either Yuha or Uryu, one of those two. Next is My Hero. I'm not going to give them 10 characters because I gave Bleach 10 because they were on par with it, because they're on par with the main three in terms of the game, in terms of just Bleach in general. My Hero is getting close to, I think My Hero is at the point of popularity, but just for the sake of this, the first four was Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, All Might. Those three of them were DLC. So let's go to six. Ochako, definitely, and Shigaraki. Ochako and Shigaraki to make it six. Now for Hunter x Hunter, Gon, Killua, Kurapika, Meruem, Bisky, and I can't believe I forgot Hisoka. Hisoka as well. Bisky and Meruem were DLC. Now for the three characters, Crollo, Pito, and Kite. Out of those three, Pito is the most necessary. Even if you have, I think Pito is the most necessary out of Crollo, Pito, and Kite. I love all of them. I want all of them in the game. But if they only add one additional Hunter x Hunter, I think they're going to choose Pito because Pito is so pop. Now that I think about it, Hunter x Hunter Net Impact has not confirmed Pito. She's probably the first DLC. I can't imagine Pito the first DLC because you can't have Hunter x Hunter without Pito. That just doesn't make sense to me to have no Pito or Knuckles. And let's go. This is still on topic, but Demon Slayer was not in the first game. But let's touch on it just real quick. If it ever happens in the sequel, I think it will only start with one character or four. It's either going to have Tanjiro and that's it, or Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke, Zenitsu. Those are the easy four. And DLC would be like Rengoku and Akaza. because I've been thinking a lot about Demon Slayer in that game and like what the DLC would be if they only start with 4 characters or something. And I think I'm going like Shinobu and Gyu, maybe. And then it's next in my list in my head is Rengoku Akaza's DLC. Because I think out of like all the pairs you can think of, Akaza and Rengoku would sell the most money as DLC. Okay, so before we continue, I'm gonna say I'm a complete idiot. So I right now, after recording that bit of the audio, I looked at the roster for the first time in 3 years and realized Grimjaw was on the roster as DLC. I forgot about him, I'm gonna be honest, as DLC. So to my Bleach thing, like this video is not like definitive. It's not like I'm guaranteeing what's in the game. This is all speculation, having fun theories. So even if I gone over the number 10 number I made for myself, it's not the I made that 10 number just as like a mark. You can switch and change characters around in your head as like a guess. I forgot Grimjaw was in the game, so I just wanted to mention that real quick. So add into my Bleach list. I think that's all the characters and things I want to talk about. This video has gone longer than I wanted to be. Like the raw recording of this is over 40 minutes. I planned this to be like a 20-minute video. Clearly, that's not going to happen. And I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to. So if I do continue, it's going to be in a part two. I'm going to do like a second video if I want to. I might not do a second part two to this video because I feel like I got everything out there I wanted to get out there. So this is going to end the video because I feel like I got everything I wanted to say out there because there's no real point in me extending this farther to say the same things or to say things you might already know, things you already want. But I might do a part two if I want to. I've been working on this video for the past week or two, and I just want to get this off my phone already. It's already over 40 minutes. I'm going to edit this up, hopefully get it out soon. And yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know. I might make a sequel to this video, make other videos like this. I have never really done a video like this before. This is not scripted. I've done videos where I've talked, speculated, and stuff, but nothing really like this before. So it's kind of unprofessional. It's gonna take me a little to edit, but I hope you had fun with it. I had fun making it. Besides it taking like a week because I'm lazy. I've been working on other videos. But yeah, I'm probably not gonna do a video like this anytime soon because it takes so much time. I'd rather do AMVs. But it's fun to do this once in a while. I've always wanted to do commentary like this. I've always wanted to talk about what I think. I always want to talk about my opinions, games I want to see. So this end section of the video is not part of the Jump Force 2 video. This is more like me talking to you. As a content creator, 2025, I want to do more things. I want to do more things in my content. And if you want more videos like this, talking about Xenoverse 3, talking about Fighters 2, I could talk about other games. I can talk about my thoughts. I have many thoughts I don't really talk about because I make, game videos. It's not really a subject to bring up during game. It's a subject you bring up during a video on it. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. Take care. And yeah, I'll do more videos if I want to on this subject, but I think I'm fine with this video the way it is.